Jai Shri Radhe. Today is the Varta 250, day 247. The story of Chaturbhuj Das. Sab Vaishnav ko Jai Shri Krishna. Kumban Das was composing this as he walked along. He had had the holy sight of Srinathji's forearm form, and he was contemplating that lovely sight as he reached home. At that very moment, his wife gave birth to a boy, and Kumban Das announced that his name would be Chaturbhuj Das, servant of the four-armed Lord. At the time of the Uttapan afternoon Seva, Kumban Das came to Sri Gosaiji and bowed before him. Sri Gosaiji smiled and said, "How is Chaturbhuj Das?" Kumban Das replied, "Those upon whom you shower grace are always well. Happiness is all around them." Sri Gosaiji replied, "You will get much joy from this son. Whatever it is that you were wishing for is fulfilled in him." When the period of impurity following childbirth was over, Kumban Das performed the necessary purificatory rites. He bathed the boy and took him onto his lap. He went to Sri Gosaiji, bowed to him, and then placed the boy's head onto his lotus feet. He supplicated, "O Maharaj, please initiate my son Chaturbhuj Das with the Lord's name." Sri Gosaiji smilingly said, "After Raj Bhog today, I will initiate him with the Lord's name and Brahmasamban both." As he said this, Chaturbhuj Das broke into a large smile, and Kumban Das was overjoyed. When the Raj Bhog offerings had been accepted back as Mahaprasad, the crier called out for the Lord's flower garland. Sri Gosaiji told all the servants of the inner temple to go inside. They and the door guard all went to go outside. Only Sri Govardhanaji and Kumban Das were left in the temple. First of all, Sri Gosaiji initiated Chaturbhuj Das with the Lord's name, and then he took some tulsi leaves into his hands and told Kumban Das to bring the boy forwards. He then granted Chaturbhuj Das the Brahmasamband initiation in the presence of Sri Govardhanaji. He placed the tulsi leaves at the lotus feet of Sri Govardhanaji. At that very moment, Chaturbhuj Das had the direct experience of all of Sri Thakurji's divine pastimes, and he also realized the true form of Sri Gosaiji in his heart. He sang this kirtan. Rag Saranga. This son of Sri Vallabh's form brings constant joy to those who serve him. His heart becomes happy at his mere sight, for he is the embodiment of the Supreme Lord's divine pastimes. With his sweet glance he reveals the principles of the path through the Lord's play. Leaving this path and running after other types of knowledge is effected by forgetfulness and wrong thought. Sri Krishna, upholder of the Giriraj mountain, and the darling of Nanda, firmly holds the hand of those whom Sri Gosaiji tells him to, for as the poet Chaturbhuj Das now sings, Sri Vittal is grace-filled and generous, the uplifter of the fallen. Sri Gosaiji was overheard to hear Chaturbhuj Das sing this pad. Kumban Das was also extremely happy. Kumban Das said, "My heart's desire is fulfilled, and now that I have the association of such a beloved, devoted Vaishnava." The door to the temple opened. Everyone present had the holy sight of the Lord. Sri Gosaiji performed the Aarti ceremony to Srinathji, and then settled the Lord down to his rest. He brought the Lord's garland and Pan Bida down with him, and came to sit in his betak. Many Vaishnavas came there. Kumban Das brought Chaturbhuj Das with him. In front of everyone, Chaturbhuj Das behaved like an innocent child and kept quiet. Sri Gosaiji sent all the Vaishnavas off and then went to take a prasad. Thereafter he fed Kumban Das and Chaturbhuj Das his prasadi leftovers with his own hand. They both partook of Mahaprasad. Sri Gosaiji was sitting on his pillows, eating a pan bida. When they had rinsed their mouths after eating, Kumban Das and Chaturbhuj Das came close to Sri Gosaiji, who gave some of his chewed pan to both of them. Then he went off for his rest. Kumban Das gathered Chaturbhuj Das into his arms and set off for his village of Yamunavata. When they were alone, Chaturbhuj Das would recount stories about Srinathji's pastimes and of Sri Vallabh and Sri Gosaiji. They both felt much bliss doing this. If any third person came there, Chaturbhuj Das would keep quiet like an innocent child. From the day that he was initiated, Chaturbhuj Das would not even drink milk before having the holy sight of Sri Govardhanaji. In this way he soon reached the age of 5. He had the holy sight of Sri Govardhanaji every day, for he was a very accomplished Vaishnava, so dear to the Lord. Part 2. One day Srinathji said, "O Chaturbhuj Das, today you must come with me to graze the cows." Chaturbhuj Das attended the Lord's Raj Bhog Aarti and then went to sit near Govind Kund. Up in the temple, Sri Kumban Das had asked everyone if they had seen Chaturbhuj Das. They all said that they had seen him when the temple doors had been opened, but not since then. Kumbandas began to wonder where he had got to. When Shri Gosaiji settled Shri Govardhanaji down for his rest, Kumbandas went to see him in his baitak. He bowed before him. Shri Gosaiji asked Kumbandas why he was looking sad, and he replied that he had seen Chaturbhuj Das at the time of the Rajbhog Aarti, but not since then, and that he was wondering where he had gone. Shri Gosaiji said to Kumbandas, "From today onwards you should not worry about where Chaturbhuj Das is. Shri Govardhanaji has told him to go out with him to graze the cows. For this reason, Chaturbhuj Das, after seeing Srinathji in the temple, has now gone to sit near Govind Kund. Shri Govardhanaji will go with the cows, Balaramji and the cowherd friends to the forest, taking Chaturbhuj Das with them. In about an hour they will be going to Shamdak. If you want to meet up and go with them, you should go straight to Shamdak, where you will see Shri Govardhanaji and all his entourage, as well as Chaturbhuj Das." Hearing this, Kumbandas set off and went straight to Shamdak. There he saw Shri Govardhanaji and Shri Baladevji sitting together. All the cowherd boys were sitting there, and they were surrounded on all sides by grazing cows. Kumbandas approached them and prostrated before them. Shri Govardhanaji spoke to Kumbandas laughingly, "O Kumbandas, come and sit down here." Kumbandas bowed again and supplicated, "O Maharaj, today you have greatly graced Chaturbhuj Das. He is most fortunate." Hearing this, Shri Govardhanaji said nothing. Such was his great grace upon Chaturbhuj Das. One day, Shri Govardhanaji went to one Vraja Gopi's house with the intention of stealing milk, yogurt and butter. He called Chaturbhuj Das, "O son of Kumban, come with me." They entered one Vrajavasi's house, and Shri Govardhanaji ate lots of milk, butter and yogurt. That Vrajavasi's daughter caught sight of Chaturbhuj Das, although she was not able to see Shri Thakurji. She called out to her father, "Oh, look, that son of Kumban Das has consumed all our milk, butter and yogurt." Hearing this, 5 or 10 other Vrajavasis came running there. Shri Thakurji and his cowherd friends had all run away. They knew how to steal successfully, but Chaturbhuj Das was doing it for the first time, and he knew nothing. He was standing there alone. The Brajvasis gathered together and gave him a good beating. "Oh, then," they said to him, "from today onwards, if you ever come here again to steal, then we will catch hold of your father Kumban Das." Saying this, they let the boy go. Chaturbhuj Das went to Govardhanaji. He and the cowherd boys were all laughing heartily. Chaturbhuj Das addressed the Lord, "O Maharaj, you and your friends ate up all the milk, butter and yogurt, but I got the beating for it." Shri Govardhanaji said, "Why did you not eat anything? We all ran away. Why did you not also run away? Why did you stay there to get a beating?" Chaturbhuj Das did not answer. Chaturbhuj Das was thus the recipient of Srinathji's and Shri Gosaiji's great grace. We're pausing the Varta here at the commence of part 4, and we'll continue tomorrow. Aaj ke Anand ki jai ho. Srinath ji ki jai, Shri Vallabhacharya ji ki jai, sab Vaishnavon ki jai, Shri Krishna, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.